There's a 90s comedy people never stopped quoting, and now, almost 3 decades later, it might quietly be coming back in a way no one expected. Because Lisa Kudrow just said something that sounded small, but for fans it was huge. While appearing on Watch What Happens Live, Kudrow casually mentioned that there's a really funny script for a sequel to Romy and Michele's high school reunion, and that things are kind of moving toward it. Not a joke. Not nostalgia talk. A real script, real movement, and that's where this gets interesting. The original film followed two slightly delusional, wildly confident best friends who decide to fake their success at their 10-year reunion. It was absurd, colorful, and completely unserious, and somehow it became one of the most quoted cult comedies of the decade. Alongside Kudrow was Mira Sorvino, and together they created characters that people didn't just like, they adopted. But here's the part most people missed. In 2024, Sorvino confirmed that a sequel is actually in development with 20th Century Studios, and she didn't say it lightly. She revealed that almost every important character from the original film is written into the script, pending deals, pending yeses, but they are all there. That means the original chaotic energy might not just return, it might return intact. We're talking about the same world that included Janeane Garofalo, Cumming, Justin Theroux, and Elaine Hendrix. The exact ensemble that made the first movie feel so oddly real despite how ridiculous it was. And studios don't revisit cult comedies unless there's a reason. Sorvino explained that reason during an appearance on the Work in Progress podcast with Sophia Bush. She called the movie evergreen, saying she's constantly shocked by how deeply it's meant something to people over the years. Then she told a story that explains everything. At a fan convention, someone asked her to sign their arm as Romy. An hour later they came back, bleeding. They had tattooed the autograph onto their skin. She said this isn't rare. There are people walking around with Romy and Michele tattoos. Decades later, that's not nostalgia, that's cultural imprint, and it explains why this sequel isn't being pushed by marketing departments or reboot trends. It's being pulled into existence by fans and by the cast themselves. What makes this different from most sequels is that the script already exists. Kudrow says it's genuinely funny. Sorvino says the characters still matter, and the studio is listening. Which raises the real question no one's asking yet. What does a high school reunion story look like when those same characters are now in their 50s and 60s, still optimistic, still slightly out of touch, and still convinced they're doing amazing? Because if this happens, it won't just be a sequel. It'll be the strangest, most unexpected reunion Hollywood's had in years.